Okay, let's have this conversation with a man who saw it when it happened and thereafter, and 30 years ongoing. Rear Admiral Samuel Alade, Ilesomi Alade, who was a former commandant of the National Defense College, Nigeria, and was an eyewitness, like I said, to the Rwandan genocide. Admiral, very warm welcome to News Night.
Thank you very much.
30 years on, does the pain still linger in Rwanda and reverberates in Africa about such ethnic cleansing never seen in such a massive scale before?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a chat with you on Rwanda. Just to answer your question, it is very, very difficult to forget such an incident. Though the people might have forgiven themselves, but it's always very difficult to forget. But one good thing in Rwanda right now is the fact that the government has done quite a lot to heal the wounds by way of reconciliation and by way of getting the people to realize that they are one. In those days, pre-genocide, and even during the genocide, and even after, Rwandese used to see themselves either as Tutsis, Hutus, or Twa, because those are the three prominent tribes or ethnic
groups
in Rwanda. But the government, ably led by General Kagame, has done a lot to erase that. So in Rwanda now, if you go there, a normal Rwandan sees himself as a Rwandan and not as any ethnic.
Unlike in Nigeria here, we see ourselves first from where we come from and the rest.
Yeah, that's right. But that is when we are in here. My experience,
No, abroad. I mean,
yes,
first. Yes, absolutely.
When we are abroad, we are Nigerians.
Yeah. Let us look at the healing. Yes, it's been tremendous. Kagame as a leader has been fantastic. In 30 years, the infrastructural development in Rwanda, the healing is compared to none. I mean, it's like a country that never saw, that kind of bitter war before. Tell us, UNAMIR, that's United Nations mission in Rwanda then.
Yes.
How successful were they? Because we still had the Rwandan ambassador saying that there was colonial manipulation caused that genocide. Are we still being manipulated today colonially?
Well, UNAMIR, as it were, then was there with the United Nations mandate, to help Rwanda set up BBTG, a broad-based transitional government that was to embrace both the current government as at that time and the RPF, that's Rwanda Patriotic Front.
Led by Kagame.
Yes. And unfortunately, that was not to be as a result of the incident that happened on the 6th of April that led immediately, to the genocide, against the Tutsis. Otherwise, before then, UNAMIR was doing well. But if we look at what happened, because...
would it be right to say that UNAMIR abandoned the people to their faith?
Well, I will not say so, because people like me, I was right in there. I did not leave Rwanda. So some left, but so many of us did not leave Rwanda. We remained there, even when the genocide was on. But the unfortunate thing, was that there was little we could do.
You did not fear for your life then?
Well, we are military people, and we were there for a reason. We could not do much because of the UN mandate that was subsisting as at that time.
The mandate was that you don't interfere, you don't fight, rather
until you are attacked. You don't need to fight anybody. Because we were not armed anyway. As military, because I was a military observer. So we were not armed.
So like I asked the question, is that colonial manipulation still very palpable in Africa today, beyond Rwanda? With your experience, serving at UNAMIR, and you would have seen well-written position papers on foreign and defense policies, being a former commandant of the Nigerian Defense College. Am I right?
Yeah, well, you may not be absolutely right, because it's difficult to say that we have colonial manipulation in Africa. But what is happening in Africa today, we tend to promote partnership in development, partnership in social welfare activities. So no one can be an island on its own. So yes, we still have that that sense of colonial masters activities within African nations, but we cannot categorically say that the manipulation is still there. We collaborate. We collaborate, and I want to believe that it's a win-win situation.
Okay, if you say it's a win-win situation, not only for the Rwandese, but the African continent, what are those lessons, or what more lessons are there to be learned from that genocide 30 years ago? Is the continent being cohesive enough to become one, indivisible continent, using one currency, having the after trade really work?
I'll be very glad if that happens in my lifetime, for Africa to unite, for Africa to become one indivisible entity, both politically and economically, so that we can have a common currency, just like European Union. But I am not too sure whether that is going to happen very soon. But I overheard the other day that AU is working towards that. But by and large, issue of Rwanda, what is happening, the lessons we can learn from Rwanda. We have a lot of lessons to learn from Rwanda. This is a country that was turned into ashes. This is a country that could be described as a failed state immediately after the genocide, lawlessness and all of this. But this is also a country that today is a toast of other nations in terms of development, in terms of politics and social welfare programs. So meaning that it is very possible for any country to come out, even without genocide, to come out of their own situation and become economically viable. So I think that is what we are trying to do in Nigeria too, to come out to be economically strong, so that the nation will be we move forward progressively towards proper development.
Okay, let me just now you're a retiree, so I think you can delve into a bit of politics here. Just like some African political analysts who say Kagame and Rwanda are synonymous. 30 years of being president, 30 years of, great developmental strides, socio-politically and economically, and the rest. But isn't it time for him to take a bow and leave the stage and let some other person continue? Or is it a situation, a syndrome, the usual African syndrome of sit tight?
No, I don't think so. If you visit Rwanda very well, like I do, you will realize that Rwandese, they love their president. And this is a president that has been so sincere, hardworking, progressive, forward-looking. He is not working for his own personal interests. He's working for his country. You need to visit Rwanda. Every time I go to Rwanda, conservatively.
It's your second country.
Conservatively, I visit Rwanda at least once a year. Mm-hmm. Okay? And each time I visit Rwanda, I noticed one thing or the other that has changed. You know? I remember when I was there, I was living in an area called Kechukiro. Okay? When I went there the last time, I couldn't recognize the place anymore because of the kind of developmental activities, you know, going on there. So, issue of being a president for how long, it depends on the constitution of that country. If the constitution permits that and the people love that, I don't think there's any problem with that. But all the same, I don't want to target a sit-tight leader, no. But it's a leader that is working. It's a leader that knows what to do. And this is also a leader, which I believe you know, that is well respected within the international community.
International community, yes. He has truly regenerated his country, Rwanda,
exactly,
and its people.
Exactly.
Kudos to Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, and to you too, who you were an observer as a young officer then in UNAMIR, and today you're proud of that country. Thank you very much, Rear Admiral Samuel Ilesomi Alade, former Commandant, National Defense College in Abuja here in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.